He inches closer and closer to 1,000 career victories, 3-0 lifetime against Elon. It's rare to see a Coach K team start 3 true freshmen. That is the case. The 3 we just alluded to in Jones, Winslow, and Okafor. They've got some veteran leadership, though, with Emil Jefferson, and in particular at the guard spot with Quinn Cook, who's had a sensational season thus far. The Elon Phoenix, led by Matt Matheny, now in his 6th year with the program, the 2013 Southern Conference Coach of the Year. They are now in the Colonial. The stakes have been stepped up. He welcomes the challenge, and he likes the unit that he has this season. A number of veterans, including Tanner Sampson in the starting lineup, a 6'4 junior who recently recorded 8 threes in a game against Northwestern, a game they narrowly lost. Another packed house here at Cameron Indoor. Okafor will jump center for the Blue Devils, and we are underway. Tony Green, Jamie Luckey, and Anthony Franklin, the 3 officials tonight here in Durham. Elon right away going inside, and right away feeling the presence of that man, Jahlil Okafor.
But one of the reasons Elon wants to go inside is to see if they can get Duke into foul trouble and get Jahlil Okafor sitting on the bench, because they know it's going to be extremely difficult to guard him at the other end.
Dangerous skip pass to Hamilton on the left wing. Open 3. Those will be the kind of shots that Elon is going to have to hit tonight to have a shot. Elon will get it back as it's knocked out of bounds. I thought some of the keys to the game tonight, Corey.
Well, just as you mentioned, you kind of ruined it already, giving up a key for Elon.
I've been known to do that.
They have to be great from 3, no question about that. If a Duke on the other end, they've got to feed the monster, and the monster's out there. I should call him a Monstar. I don't know if you know about the Monstars, but we'll say monster for the day. Jahlil Okafor, he's, again, the best big man in the country, no question about it. Elon doesn't have anyone to stop him in the paint. It's going to be interesting to see how Coach Matheny decides to guard him, whether they're going to trap him, they're going to let him play one-on-one, because he knows the biggest player that Elon plays is 6'7". Okafor at 6'11", closer to 7 feet, and extremely skilled, will be very difficult to hold in check.
Had a little bit of a shot clock issue. That was the cause for the delay. Everything is tweaked, and we're back with the action.
You see Duke putting that pressure on. This is the trademark of Duke basketball. They like to get out in passing lanes. We're not a very good defensive team last year, but now with a more traditional lineup, they've returned to their style of play.
Another open 3 rattles out for Tanner Sampson. Okafor. High post, goes to work, and a little too strong.
But you can see immediately what Coach K wants to do, establish a little Okafor early.
There's a steal, and Elon got it right back. Jones poked it away initially. Okafor with the rebound. Blue Devils off and running. Jefferson, nice pass, and a foul called as Winslow hits the deck.
But for Duke, you can see already going 1.5 minutes in this game without scoring, and that's a long drought for a team that averages close to 90 points a game. One of the best, probably the best offensive team in the country. When you look at it, they've got a great post player, but they've also got very skilled perimeter players. And this young man, Justice Winslow, has really bolstered them defensively because he's so versatile on the defensive end of the floor. The 12 points a game are great, but I think he makes them much tougher than they've been defensively in the last couple of years.
Foul was on Sabato. That really was the calling card this year for the team from Mike Krzyzewski. They scored a lot of points last year. They did not play typical Duke Coach K defense. This group has so far.
And they have been able to do a lot of it this year. When you think about Tyus Jones and Quinn Cook playing 2 point guards and their ability to pressure the basketball and get out in the passing lanes, and then you talk about Winslow, you really have a good group on the defensive end, but offense is their calling card.
This is Blake. Strong take right at Okafor. 37 consecutive victories at home for Duke. That is the #1 mark in the country. Strong take right to the hole for Winslow. And a late whistle. They got the foul as well on and 1. Are they going to call offensive?
I believe they got the offensive foul on that one. And one thing about this building, it gets so loud, you don't always hear the call. However, Justice Winslow attacking the basket. As you can see, a good call. The defender was setting outside of the restricted area, so therefore that is a good call by the official.
Hamilton around the screen, a teardrop, and Jefferson gobbles up the rebound. A runner, too strong for Cook.
We talked about the rust, and that's exactly what you're seeing right now. Seldom will you see a Duke team going pretty much through the first 3 minutes of the game without a field goal. Still only 1 point from the free throw strike.
Jefferson backing in, firing it up. Okafor offensive rebound, and he was bear hugged. I think they got Sampson grabbing him from down below. Now Duke offensively, I mean, they basically put on a clinic, Corey. What flaws can you find?
Well, they are a great offensive team, and we talked about it. They don't have any weaknesses on the offensive end. They have shooting, they have post play, and they have athleticism. So you take about all those things, but what they have right now is rust. But you can always win getting inside to a big fella just like that.
There's your WD-40 for the rust right there.
Feed the monster. That's the monster right there. Now, I talked to him before the game, and I've had the opportunity to coach a little before. He slimmed down a lot. I wonder why he's got the T-shirt going today. He's supposed to be showing off the guns right now. But Jalil celebrating his 19th birthday today, so I'm sure he wants to have a big showing as well in front of the home crowd.
There's a turnover right through the hands of Kevin Blake. You know, Elon 0 for 7 from the field. They've had some good looks. But obviously, the Phoenix cannot afford to miss open shots and commit turnovers.
But one thing about Elon, also on the other end, they're one of the best in the country defending the three-pointer, giving up only 27% three-point field goal percentage on the defensive end. But they have nothing. That has nothing to do with three-point defense right there. You got to have somebody that can go up top with Justice Winslow. Beautifully designed play from the sidelines of Coach K.
Contact. Gave him the chicken wing. Did Kevin Blake an offensive foul.
We talked about Elon defensively. However, there's no defense for the perfect alley-oop, especially when you've got an athlete like Justice Winslow going to get it, and a great passer like Quinn Cook delivering it on a dime.
Justice Winslow, a 6'6" freshman. Body is chiseled, great leaper. Sometimes you look at these young men like that one, and you say, are they really 19 years old?
Well, believe it or not, Justice Winslow isn't 19 years old yet. He's 18. Jalil celebrating 19 today. A beautiful move on the baseline.
Nice take for Luke Eddy.
And Luke Eddy was the guy that Elon needed to get in the game. He's not a starter, but yet their leading scorer, and has had a great start to the season.
Okafor traveled that time. He's very nifty with his footwork ordinarily, but picked up the step on that one. Not this time, though. Gets free, slams it home. Duke up early.
No, they're fourth in the country, not in that position.
Right.
Because these guys, when you're talking about some of the best, Tyus is the best point guard in the country.
Right.
Justice is one of the 2 best wing players in the country, and then Grayson Allen, one of the best shooting guards in the country, who really can't get minutes right now because his team is so deep. You still got to think about Rasheed Suleiman and Matt Jones both coming off the bench, who were McDonald's All-Americans in the past couple of years. So Duke, with 9 McDonald's All-Americans, is tied with Kentucky for the most in the country. And it's a loaded team, but one thing they don't have a lot of is interior depth. They really only have 3 big guys to play right now.
Because of that log jam, the news coming out earlier yesterday about Shemi Ojale, we'll talk about that later on, but 6'8" sophomore who has decided to transfer. He's not getting a whole lot of minutes for the Duke Blue Devils. There's the open three, and another miss. Elon's just been shaky from outside. Luke Eddy's not going to get a much better look. Out of bounds to Duke. Now, Ojale was a guy, a scoring machine in high school. He scored over 2,700 points. Just a case of a guy, Corey, where it just didn't fit right now into getting major minutes for Duke.
Well, and one thing about, when you come to one of the elites, the Dukes, the Kentuckys, North Carolinas, Kansas, on and on and on, there's not a huge window of opportunity. You either show that you're really good from the beginning. You can sit and wait, no question about that. You earn your time. Emil Jefferson has done just that. But if you're impatient and you feel though you need to be out there, this might not be the spot for you, and that's obviously what Ojale found. As Quinn Cook knocks down his first shot. That's the first shot from anyone other than the freshman to start this game off. So you see the folks at Duke is really getting those guys started off. But when you come to one of these places and you don't show early that you're going to be a contributor, you better have some patience, because there's always going to be new guys coming in that are ready to play.
Elon can just not buy a bucket from outside. Duke goes inside, and an easy deuce for Emil Jefferson, the 6'9" junior from Philadelphia.
And one of the benefits of the way Duke plays right now, they play 2 point guards.
Steal, look out. Timeout, Elon.
We talked about the defensive presence of Justice Winslow. And he's a guy that can guard multiple positions, as you see, picking up a defender full court, getting the hands in there, and, of course, knowing how to finish it once he gets his hand on the basketball. And that's just a great play. Again, it's just a defender. He's not a guy that you can play with. You better beat him straight line, because he's one of the best at getting his hands on the basketball.
Now, Duke got off to a little rusty start. Again, an 11-day layoff, but since then, 6 of 6. And, of course, most of those coming in the paint.
But I don't think we've seen Duke shoot a 3 yet.
No.
So when you think about it, but that was the focus of Coach K, I'm sure, coming into this game, was to make sure they took advantage of the size and beat Elon in the painted area where they don't feel that they have the opportunity to be able to guard him.
I believe they got Winslow whistled for a foul. What Duke has done offensively, today's day and age of college basketball, you're shooting even close to 50%. That's a win. If you're shooting 54% from the field, that's just beyond outstanding, and that's where they are right now behind Notre Dame.
And that's great for Duke. But, wow, how about Notre Dame? And you think about it, because Duke had Jahlil Okafor. And, of course, August is very good at Notre Dame, but he's not Jahlil Okafor. You think about Notre Dame with Grant and Jackson, Connaughton, they're doing it from the perimeter and is shooting 56% as a team. That's special for Mike Bray's group. Well, Mike Bray does have some Duke ties, so I guess we can talk about him.
That is true
as well.
The 6 degrees of Mike Krzyzewski.
It's more than 6 for him.
Blue Devils already going to the bench. The aforementioned Grayson Allen in the game now. Nice pass. Easy slam for Jefferson.
Yeah, how about that? You take out Quinn Cook, Tyus Jones, and Justice Winslow, and you bring in Rasheed Suleiman, Matt Jones, and Grayson Allen. Not a lot of drop-off there, to say the least. You're talking about the most talented wing in college basketball.
Tough pass. And all Grayson Allen could do was save it into the hands of Elon. There's a rare basket in transition for the Phoenix. That's Christian Hairston off the bench. That snapped the streak for Elon, had missed 10 of 11 from the field.
And Elon wants to play fast. I'm not sure if it's going to be beneficial for him tonight, but that is their style, that's their culture. They want to get up and down the floor, so they're not going to just sit and wait for Duke to set up their defense.
Now, Coach Matt Matheny telling us we're going to play our game. We need to get some buckets in transition. Deep three. At some point, those shots are going to start falling for Tanner Sampson and the Phoenix.
Well, the good thing about here, this is a great shooter's gym. It's not a huge arena where you think about seeing so much space. It's almost like playing the high school gym. And Elon can shoot it. I believe at some point they'll get it going. It's simply about how far down will they'll be when that happens.
Timeout on the floor, 11:53 to play. Winslow giving the rim a workout. Then Okafor. How about a third slam? Winslow
games have been against Wisconsin and the second half against Michigan State. But the thing about Tyus in a game like this, why this was so important for him, was to be able to come out and be aggressive in comparison to, I won't say chilling because that's not it, but not being extremely aggressive. And they want him to be aggressive at all times. But games like this, he really doesn't do it, but he shows up big in the big games.
A little too hot to handle on the pass. That's the 5th turnover on Elon. It'll be Duke ball.
Now I got a text from Jason Caper yesterday, and I talked to Jeff today. And now I'm going to be in trouble with both of them because I called Jeff Jason.
You can't win.
I know it. I don't know how these guys get along anyway. One brother goes to North Carolina, the other one at Duke.
Open look for Matt Jones. Can't find the mark. Nice bucket inside. That was Tony Sabato, starting center.
And Tony Sabato, not a big scorer for the Phoenix yet, finding his way to an open spot, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Plumlee was helping out.
Quick take to the bucket by Suleiman. He's really been playing well of late.
He has, and he was huge against Wisconsin. 14 points for him. And really, he's going to be the X factor, in my opinion, this year for Duke, because he's a guy as a junior is coming off the bench and sacrificing a lot, allowing the freshmen really to start and be able to shine. But they're going to need him to be successful.
Pass inside. Mid-range jumper. And Duke will clear it. It's Quinn Cook. Crossover and the kick. Got it.
Duke again just showing you a little bit of why they're so dangerous. You have so many guys that can attack you off the dribble, and then they have so many guys that can finish it on the three.
Off the foot of Sabato.
Rasheed Suleiman finding his way to the basket as an attacker, scoring the basketball, and then, of course, a playmaker finding his buddy Quinn Cook over the corner, was able to knock down the 3-ball.
Quinn Cook, when you look at his career, I mean, you really have to size it up over 4 years. He's a career 42% shooter from the field, 36 from 3, 83 from the line. His assist-to-turnover ratio is 2.5 to 1 for his career. And he has put together a heck of a 4-year stint here in Durham.
And he really didn't play much as a freshman, so you have to think about the fact that he's gotten the majority of that done in 2 years.
Shot clock at 9. Oh, he didn't need to force it, but he did anyway. The crowd kind of gave him a false impression that the shot clock was ticking down at about 1. Austin Hamilton drills the 3.
And that's a big bucket from Austin Hamilton. They really needed that. And he's a young man, as a senior, really epitomizes a lot of what Coach Matheny wants to do in Phoenix. He's the guy that pushes the tempo.
Okafor. Just padding his rebounding stats on that play.
And there's nothing you can do about that. If you're the Elon Phoenix, you don't have the size to match up with him on the interior. So if he misses one, he just taps it back in for the bucket.
6 points, 8 rebounds for the freshman. Winters rattles out, fall up and in. Nice job there by Hairston.
And Hairston doing a great job on the other end, the offensive rebound. And Duke playing a smaller lineup, 4 guards and Okafor right now. They've been susceptible on the offensive board on the last couple plays.
Around the horn. Hamilton dribbled right into Matt Jones. He's got Okafor. He'll take it himself. Count the basket.
And Matt Jones, now a sophomore, has made tremendous strides in his career here at Duke. Now a contributor, getting the job done defensively and then able to finish through contact for an opportunity for an and one at the other end. Matt Jones didn't get a lot of playing time last year, had to sit and watch. But this year has really found his way into the rotation and giving them another one of those long-range shooters, able to step up and knock down threes. But you see now capable of finishing at the rim as well. Jones, one of the 9 All-Americans on this roster. In fact, his sister is a guard at Texas A&M. They're just the 3rd brother-sister combo to become McDonald's All-Americans. Wonder who won the pickup battles in that driveway. We need to put a camera on that. Nice backdoor cut. Perfect execution there from Austin Hamilton. That's something out of the Bob McKillop playbook, and that's where Matt Matheny got his tutelage. And that's what you can do against Duke. Because they pressure the wings so much, you'll have those, especially if you're playing a smaller lineup. The back line on that play was Tyus Jones, who's not a shot blocker. For as good as he is, that's not his strong suit. Coach Matheny of Elon worked 10 years under Bob McKillop at Davidson. Another nice drive. You see Elon, they came here to play. Kevin Blake, we talked to Matt Matheny before this game. He wasn't scared of this game. He welcomed the challenge. No, we talked about it earlier. You know, they're going to get to a point where they find their rhythm offensively, no question about it. It's simply about how far would they be behind and how much of a head start would they give Duke. Now Elon's starting to find their way on the offensive end. Okafor tried to knife in between a double team. Okafor ahead of the pack and poked away by Luke Eddy. Great hustle by the reigning Colonial Player of the Week. Duke up by 10, 25-15 with 6:45 to play at Cameron. Alone, but he's gotten the job done early. And the thing I love most about Jahlil Okafor, he doesn't come out and take the night off because he's playing against guys that are smaller than him. He'll dominate them. He'll dominate big guys. He'll pretty much dominate everybody. And you got to love that, especially from a big guy. Three-second violation, I believe, on Duke. A rare mistake. It's 7 turnovers already on the Blue Devils. That's not going to make that man very happy. And they only average a little over 9 a game. So you talk about the rust. The 11-day layoff is a long time in college basketball. And you can see that early in the first half from their offensive standpoint. 25 points for a lot of teams at this juncture would be good. But for a team that averages 90, they're behind the pace. Another block for Okafor. And then off the head, out of bounds. Off of Kevin Blake's head. Hopefully he's okay. Took kind of a nasty spill there. Looks like he's going to be all right. We've talked about the turnovers as we see Kevin Blake going down. Can't tell from that angle whether he hit his head or not, but no, he's got the strong ab. The ab work, he kept his head up. The core muscles, right? Core muscles, that's great. Kevin Blake, a tremendous athlete, though, goes by Air Canada to his teammates for the Elon Phoenix, so I'm assuming that he goes pretty high up in the air. That's the only way you get a nickname like that. Okafor goes to work, gets it back, draws the foul, and count the basket. 10 points for Okafor. And he continues to work. You see, he's not happy about the fact that he missed the first shot, but Jahlil Okafor stays with it, using that size and strength to finish through the contact opportunity and one. 6'11", a 7'4" wingspan. As you mentioned, he's not going to let up on anybody, no matter how big or small the opponent is. And it's his birthday. He knows Chicago is watching right now. Whitney Young High School product, won a state championship last year. He ain't gonna let Chicago down on his birthday. What better birthday present than another double-double? Yeah, second straight year that Coach K and Coach Cape will have brought the best player out of Chicago down here to Durham. Last year, a guy who Jahlil played AAU with by the name of Jabari Parker, pretty good player. It worked out pretty well for him. It sure did.
Shot clock at 8. Bad pass cross court. And Jones was bumped and fouled on the run out. The undefeated Washington Huskies go up against slick shooter Buddy Hield and the Sooners in the MGM Showcase. Number 15 Oklahoma versus 16th ranked Washington. That's Saturday night at 9 o'clock on ESPNU, part of Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. Jefferson banging bodies, and Elon get credit there to Kevin Blake to draw the offensive foul.
Kevin Blake putting his body in the right position. And a smart play by Blake, really just to get in there, knowing that Jefferson would not have much room to be able to maneuver. Kevin Blake stepping in, great job to pick up the offensive foul. And now Emil Jefferson has to go to the bench with his second foul in the first half.
Sampson. This is Winters, the son of the NBA veteran. Book it, nice shot. Mid-range jumper. That's 6 points. Hairston has 6, and then Duke missing on the other end.
And really, since the, probably the first 10 minutes of the game, Elon has played Duke even.
Look at the quick hands there by Jones. Alley-oop. And a quick response by Luke Eddy.
A great comeback by Eddy. Not giving in to the crowd or anything, simply because of the highlight play. Pushing it back down the floor and taking advantage of Duke getting back in transition.
Okafor just played a game of catch with himself. Tapped it up, got it back. Winslow. Nice runner by Luke Eddy.
And Luke Eddy, not just a shooter. He does a lot of his damage just like that, attacking the basket. Of course, he's a very capable three-point shooter, but he's gotten it going now, attacking the basket against this Duke defense.
He's been instant offense all year long. Off the bench for Elon. Phoenix, give the Phoenix credit. They're keeping it close. 9-point game. But tough to stop. In Durham, Blue Devils up by 9. What do we know about Elon? Well, they're located in Elon, North Carolina. About a 45-minute bus ride down I-85. Founded in 1889. Enrollment of over 6,000. They're now in the Colonial Athletic Conference after years in the Southern Conference. And I asked Matt Matheny if there's one thing you want the people out there to know about Elon that maybe they don't. He just said, you know what, guys, we are a great school. It is a great place to come and learn and be a part of athletics and everything else. Very positive about his 6 years with Elon.
When I got to know Coach Matheny a little bit last year, I had the opportunity to call the Duke-Elon game that was played at the Greensboro Coliseum. And one thing that he's consistent, he feels as though Elon has the most beautiful campus in the country. He loves that school. He loves the three-pointer as well, but he doesn't like it as much when it's the opposing team knocking him down. Rashid Suleiman now stepping up, knocking down the second three-pointer for the Blue Devils tonight.
Suleiman was 6. He's hitting 37% from downtown this year.
Coach Matheny had a large part to do with one of the best three-point shooters in the game right now, Coach Stephen Curry at Davidson, when he was assistant under Coach Bob McKillop. And they had a little success with that group, we think.
Elite 8, I'd say so. Good hustle by Elon. And almost got another attempt at it.
One thing for certain, the Phoenix will continue to fight. They got down 19 at Missouri in their last time out, but continue to fight and actually ended up losing that game closely at the end. I think it ended up being a 5-point game, but they got back, had the ball, down 1 with 20 seconds left, unable to make a shot, but they kept playing.
Nifty move there by Quinn Cook. He's got 7. And check foul on Suleiman.
Quinn Cook finding his way to the basket, not just a shooter, but Quinn Cook averaging 15 points per game is getting the job done in so many different areas this year for Duke, and he is their unquestioned leader. And the thing you love most about Quinn Cook, no matter who's on the court, he's always going to be the most confident guy. His coaching staff says, and I've seen that from him since he was a high schooler, that's always the case.
Almost a terrific steal by Cook. Working around the horn, an open three. Elon just can't buy a bucket from downtown for most of this first half. They had hit 7 of their last 10 field goals before that possession.
Well, I'm sure that the Duke group got a talking to by Coach K. Whenever you see a team going 7 out of 9 on you, you're going to give them a little lecture. And I think Coach K kind of got to his team a little bit and let them know, hey, guys, they're starting to pick it up. We need to do it as well on the defensive end.
Phoenix just 1 of 8 from 3, and I think they just whistled Plumlee for a foul down low. Playing behind Jack Anton. You see Marshall Plumlee. He's one of their rim protectors, so important in college basketball. As you mentioned, Corey, they don't have a ton of depth in the paint, so he's going to have to play some valuable minutes this year. UConn and Duke, a rivalry renewed. This year, the undefeated Blue Devils are title contenders, but don't underestimate the defending champion Huskies. Connecticut battles second-ranked Duke. Journey to the tourney, presented by Sonic, part of Holiday Hoops, presented by Kay Jewelers. Thursday night at 8 o'clock on ESPN, the home court of college hoops. You see what UConn and Duke have done thus far. There is life beyond Shabazz Napier. Ryan Boatwright having a heck of a year for Connecticut.
Absolutely, but as I look at this graphic and I see that Brema had 40 on 13 for 13, that's a good night.
It's an impressive number, no question.
That's a good week. He did it all in one night.
Didn't miss a shot. 13 of 13 from the field. Good play off the inbounds, but Elijah Bryant just kind of lost his bearings, didn't know where he was in relation to the rim.
And that's one he's going to want back. He had a wide open layup. One of the reasons for the Elon struggles has been Luke Eddy had to go to the bench. He's back on the court now, unable to come up with that one, but he's their guy that really gets them going offensively.
And a foul down low on Elon. That's on Anton.
Coach McCaney, and I hit you with a little nugget before the game, was a 4-year letterman on the football team at Davidson. Only played basketball 2 years, was a captain of both football and basketball as a senior at Davidson, but actually played 4 years of football and was playing professional football, American football, overseas when he got the call from Coach McCullough about coming back and being a basketball coach.
You can sense talking to him. He's got some of that football toughness.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely got the toughness. No question about it.
He's not a man lacking confidence or toughness as a coach. You see what Okafor has done on his birthday. His 19th birthday already, another double-double. 10 points and 10 rebounds. This is the part of his game right here, Corey, that he needs to improve on the free throw shooting, because you know come March he's going to get fouled in some key spots.
This is true, but he is a very good shooter as well. That's one of the other attributes to his game. A very good shooter for a guy that's pretty much 7 feet.
Okafor, give him another rebound. That's 11. Watts it. Oh, great job of poking that ball free from behind. It was Hairston on the steal.
Basket here would go a long way for Elon if they can get some momentum going into halftime. Get this down to 13, maybe even 12. It gives them a little life going into the locker room.
Shot clock is off. Down to 5. And that's how the first half will come to a close. Elon, despite the fact that the Phoenix are just 1 of 9 from 3, staying competitive, but have no answer for that man. The top freshman And maybe the top big man in the country. 10 points, 11 rebounds for Jahlil Okafor. Duke on top 36-21 as we send it to
Justice Winslow with the highlight slam for the Blue Devils.
You see the numbers, the Duke Blue Devils. Ordinarily, you see 52%. You say that's a great half. That's actually 2 points below their season average. The number 2 in the nation in field goal percentage. And, of course, for Elon, they shot the ball well at times, but from behind the arc, just 1 of 9. Obviously, if the Phoenix are going to make a run of it tonight, that number will have to improve.
And that's one of the big staples of their program, being able to shoot the three-pointer. And without that, they're going to have a hard time having success here at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Same starting 5 for the second half for the men in white. And back to work, it's Okafor. A quick pivot and a fadeaway jumper. That's a little extra something in his repertoire.
It's there, though, and it's unfair that he has it. When you talk about a guy that size, with his athletic ability and his skill, it's pretty much not fair.
So many things to love about Okafor's game. And I love about it. He's a big man who loves to play big.
And we talked before the game, and, you know, I get a lot of people calling me, especially NBA scouts, asking me questions about a lot of these guys. I had the opportunity to coach Jahlil Okafor in the Hoop Summit this past spring.
Offensive foul on Tyus Jones.
And when people, you know, they ask questions, they say, well, who does he remind you most of? Well, in my opinion, he reminds me most of Tim Duncan. I had the opportunity to play with Tim Duncan his rookie year in San Antonio. And Jahlil is a back-to-the-basket guy who's extremely difficult to move off of the block. But as you can see, he shoots the ball. He has huge hands. He's a very good passer. And when you think of all of those, the one guy at a 6'11", you know, it may not be quite as athletic as Tim Duncan, but close. And Tim Duncan's never really been known to be a great athlete.
Right.
But, you know, when he was in college, Tim was very thin. You know, Jahlil's a lot bigger than Tim was, you know, when he was in college.
Yeah, they list Jahlil at 270, and you and I were on the court watching him warm up. The first thing you noticed, he looks leaner, but not skinny lean, just fat in the muscle lean.
Well, he's toned up, and, of course, that's what happens with pretty much all these guys. Coming into college, you get on a good weightlifting regimen, and you eat better, most likely. You're not eating your fast food before your high school games. You're actually eating good meals. From that standpoint, the guys normally lose a lot of body fat.
Nice pass inside the Jefferson. Great look by Tyus Jones. There's a lot of true freshmen in college basketball that are great shooters and scorers. I haven't seen many that had the instincts and the great passing ability of Tyus Jones.
And I've been watching him since he was a freshman in high school, and he's played the same way. He's normally always the smartest player on the court. And he's a guy, of course, he can score very well. It's not a question about it, but his passing ability and really leadership ability are the best attributes of his game.
Jefferson misfires on the first free throw.
When you look at this trio of Tyus Jones, Justice Winslow, and Jahlil Okafor, these guys have played together in USA basketball for the last 3 years. I mean, you know, their chemistry is great, but it comes from a lot of time on the floor. And Tyus and Jahlil are basically best friends, and Justin's right in there with those guys. They don't go many places without each other, which is part of the reason why they all ended up here at Duke together.
Jones already with 3 assists. He leads this Duke team with just under 6 a game. Quinn Cook, the senior, that led him. There's Okafor on a steal, and Okafor takes it all the way. "14 points for the big man, who didn't look real big on that play. He looked like a guard here.
Well, how many 6'11" guys in the country can do this? We talked about the huge hands, but the touch also to be able to finish it. And he's not just doing it because it's his birthday. He can do this type of thing all the time.
Okafor will have to settle for 14 points, 11 rebounds. And then a break for Duke as Hairston stepped out of bounds on the long rebound.
And Will Jefferson doing a great job pursuing the basketball, not conceding and allowing Elon to have it. And because of his effort, Duke gets the basketball back.
And now the officials making sure that Okafor and Jack Anton don't get too handsy.
And Anton not going to just give him the block.
And he's going to pick up a foul right after the warning. He just kept doing it. In defense of Jack Anton, what else are you going to do if you're trying to defend Okafor one-on-one?
Yeah, you can't allow him just to establish himself right on the block, and Anton just trying to get his chest into him. He doesn't have his hands in there, but just trying to move him with his chest. But in college basketball today, that's illegal, I guess.
It's changed a little bit, hasn't it?
It really has.
Every year they talk about cleaning up post-play. Third foul on Anton. Winslow on a three. Another offensive rebound for Okafor. Finds a teammate. Second effort, Jefferson. And the largest lead for Duke. The foul. Finally, Tanner Sampson, their leading scorer, who is held to a goose egg in the first half, buries a triple and a chance at a 4-point play. And a great response from the junior Tanner Sampson for Elon at a time where Duke's crowd really starts to get into it. Jahlil Okafor's going. Emil Jefferson picks up the offensive rebound and score, and they come back with a 4-point play. That's a huge play for Elon, and of course, more important to get Sampson on the board. Cook fouled him. First 4 points of the game for Sampson out of Aurora, Colorado. High school teammates with Ryan Winters, now his college teammate. And a bump foul as Winslow got hit in the air. And that's a tough matchup, really, for any guard, having to guard Justice Winslow coming off those screens. One thing that Justice Winslow has been this size since he was about 15 years old. He didn't come to Duke and put on a lot of extra muscle. He's been this big for a long time, so he knows how to play with that size and that weight and does a great job maneuvering around the basket. That's why he's such a matchup problem, because with his strength, but he's still able to move and be very agile as a point guard. So that's why he's so difficult, and which makes him a great defender, and also because he's pretty much stronger than everyone he's going to play against. He has struggled at the line this year, and an empty trip there, but another offensive rebound. This time Jefferson, Cook. Okafor had it. Might have gotten fouled, no call. Here come the Phoenix numbers. And a three. Knocked down by Hamilton. Two back-to-back possessions now. Seeing the senior, Austin Hamilton, knocking down a three. And again, within 13 points, the Phoenix aren't going to go away. They're going to continue to fight. Okafor. Might want to check if he's got his wallet after that one. Well, one thing's for certain with Coach Matheny, he's not going to just allow a team just to do whatever they want to do. And here, as you see, as he on the spin, there's no question about whether or not it's a foul. No one's complaining. He got his money's worth out of that foul. Colin Luther getting in there, making sure Jahlil Okafor had to earn it at the free throw line. Okafor just 52% from the free throw line. And you talked about his free throw shooting woes. He hasn't shot the ball well from the free throw line. He may start getting the hack of Jahlil every time they come down the floor, because they can't guard him if they let him score, if they let him play. So from that standpoint, he might be getting fouled a little bit more. You remember Shaquille O'Neal his last year at LSU. That poor guy had bruises all over his body after every game. That wasn't just at LSU. That was his entire career. He got fouled pretty much every time he touched the basketball. Elon now is playing Elon basketball, hitting open threes. They had him in the first half. They're connecting in the second. Okafor makes it look easy. If you're going to foul him, you cannot allow him to be able to get the shot up and finish. Great pass in. Of course, his skill level allows him to make these shots. But if you're going to add that extra and put him on the line, make sure he doesn't make that shot. It's a lot easier said when I'm sitting up here 40 feet above the court. And the free throw struggles continue. The only thing not going right for Okafor on his 19th birthday tonight, 17 points, 13 rebounds.
Right now, if you're Elon, if you're able to get a basket here, now you've established yourself with some rhythm offensively, and you've gotten Duke's attention, especially from behind the three-point arc.
Unforced error there on Luther. And the Phoenix give it away. 12 turnovers on Elon. Phoenix hanging tough. Duke up 13 with 15:57 to play. Afternoon on ESPNU. Scoring threat Wesley Saunders. And the dangerous Crimson look for a breakthrough victory against Tony Bennett's undefeated Virginia Cavaliers. Harvard taking on number 6 Virginia Sunday at noon on ESPNU. Part of Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. Mike Morgan alongside a former Virginia Cavalier. Or is it former or once a Cavalier, always a Cavalier, Corey Alexander?
I'll let you figure that one out. I'm not sure. But right now, Phoenix coming out of a 1-3-1 zone, seeing if they can slow down Duke.
Okafor. That's just too easy.
Well, and the problem is, again, if you're Duke, it's simply about just get a shot. Because if you get it on the glass, he's going to go get the offensive rebound. There's very little Elon can do about that. Boxing him out really doesn't work because he reaches over top of the majority of their guys.
19 points, 14 rebounds with a sensational freshman by way of Chicago, Illinois. Steal. Breakaway. Lay-in. Suleiman.
I honestly believe as Duke continues to go on this year, that's where they will improve the most, is that defensive pressure, getting out in passing lanes, and being the Duke that we've been used to seeing for many years.
Nice take by Dimitri Thompson. His first bucket.
This 1-3-1 zone is finding the spot. Now if you're Duke, do you settle for all jump shots or continue to try to attack?
Nice swing to the corner. Now that time, you could almost give Okafor an assist. He just tapped it right to his teammate, Justice Winslow, who has 9.
And the second chance points is really, Elon has done a very good job on the first defensive stop. Is picking up the basketball and being able to come up with a defensive rebound that's really hurt him.
Timeout called by Elon. 52-35, Blue Devils in the lead.
Right now, you can get a single line with 3 gigs for $65 a month.
3 gigs, is that a lot?
That's about 100.
5-year-old stadium looks like this, and now renovation plans include removing the track, lowering the field, constructing a new press tower, and adding seats and installing a new scoreboard. You can thank David Cutcliffe for that, because that man has done a sensational job with a program that really struggled on the gridiron for a long time.
You know who else you can thank for that?
Who's that?
Coach Mike Krzyzewski.
It all comes back to Coach K, doesn't
Well,
it?
you want to know why? Because he said he doesn't care, doesn't matter. He will stand in front of a bulldozer. This building will be here for as long as he's alive. Right. And this is where Duke will play. So they don't have to put much money into this place. You can put it in the football field.
3 for Justice Winslow, who has 12 now. All 3 true freshmen in the starting lineup making big impacts so far tonight. By the way, this is the 75th anniversary of Cameron Indoor Stadium. 75 years.
One of my favorite places to play in college basketball.
Nice job going to Tony Sabato, who was quarantined in the paint. 6 points for Sabato.
And this 1-3-1 again for Elon. Can they come up with the defensive rebound? It's not about getting a stop. It's about finishing the play. And the answer is no on that possession. Another second chance opportunity for Duke. And again, this team is way too good to continue to give them that many opportunities.
Run out. And the layup is good for Thompson.
Elon down 16. Although, Duke has a comfortable lead, they have never really been able to relax because this team has really giving them everything they had. It's just a second chance opportunity. We see another offensive rebound by Duke. And Matt Jones firing again, 2 for $1, unable to come away with a 3 on either one of those attempts. But again, another stop for Elon. Now they have an opportunity right into this lead just a little more, just to stay within striking distance.
8 offensive rebounds, 18 overall for Okafor. Another shot buried by Dimitri Thompson. He's given him good minutes off the bench. He's got 6, and it's down to a 14-point lead.
And that's what Coach Matheny talked about, how much fun it is to coach this team, and now to come up with the turnover, because he knows that they're going to continue to fight regardless of the circumstances.
Drawing the foul on the penetration is Elijah Bryant. Elon making things interesting here in Durham. 55-41 our score. 6. What a career for Mike Krzyzewski.
Absolutely. And you talk about, just that graphic alone, and you talk about the coaches in that, and you have so many coaches out there saying you realize how hard it is just to win one game in college, to have 991. That's amazing.
He had his game against his alma mater, Army, a couple of weeks ago, and that was obviously a special trip down memory lane. It kind of allowed us to go back to the process of how Coach K got here and how patient Duke was, and the amazing job he has done building Duke into a powerhouse.
That's a great play by Rasheed Suleiman, getting inside of that zone and finding Emil Jefferson. And again, whenever it's a zone, the tendency is to sit around and shoot jump shots. That time, Suleiman doing a great job attacking, not settling for a jump shot.
Okafor playing some point guard. Look at the feed. Got to finish, Suleiman.
Oh, he's going to have a conversation with Sheed after that one. You can't blow the big fella's assist.
Second effort on the stick back. It's Thompson.
And Dimitri Thompson has really stepped up his production here in the second half, giving Coach Matheny a lot of energy, a lot of effort.
Jefferson with an easy deuce. He's got 11. There's a steal by Jefferson. Takes it strong. Count the basket.
We talked about the X factors for Duke this year, and I mentioned Rasheed Suleiman earlier, but this guy right here, Emil Jefferson, is going to be another one of those guys, a veteran basketball player who focuses on the defensive end of the court, not necessarily offensively getting the job done. Although he is a capable scorer, he's a guy that's willing to sacrifice his offense to make them a much better defensive team.
Blue Devils just 6 of 14 thus far tonight for the free throw line. And 6 of 15. Now, Jahlil Okafor has just set a Duke freshman record with 18 rebounds tonight.
And for those scoring at home, there have been some very good freshmen here at Duke.
Yes, just a few. He's got 19 points on his 19th birthday, and he's got 18 rebounds.
And if you talk to him after the game, I'm sure he will tell you that this really hasn't been a very good game for him. That's how much perfectionist he is when it comes to playing basketball.
Plumlee tears away the rebound. Walk on Matt Jones.
I'm rather impressed with the crowd here tonight, considering the students are gone. That's not the real Cameron Crazies over there. because the majority of the students are going away they just finished their exam break.
Maybe some of them hung around for one more home game.
Those might be the Cameron Crazy alumni. Those are the older people, like mine your age, that come back to do this when the students are gone. Almost like you going to play basketball every night.
That's right. Sampson wants a screen. Shot clock at 5. Hamilton with a heave.
Good pass. What you got to say on that one? Yeah, great pass by Austin Hamilton.
If it was finished, he would have gotten an assist.
Absolutely. I would have gave it to him anyway. Sure. I'm not sure if the scorekeepers would have.
Baseline jumper for Suleiman. He's got 10. Father from Nigeria, mother from Jamaica. Junior year out of Houston. Duke trying to pull away. As Winslow is whistled for an offensive foul.
Most of the time, if Justin Winslow runs into someone, they're going to lose that battle. That time, Sampson got himself set, did a great job absorbing the contact. The official's right on top of it. Great call. Offensive foul.
Season high 15 turnovers for Duke.
And that's a byproduct of the break. We're talking about 11 days off, that rust. That's what happens. You get out of sync. Because they were playing their best basketball at Wisconsin, 12 days ago. They were great, but they had that continuity going, and they will continue to work on it. They'll get it back. But talking with Jeff Capel, they basically said that, hey, we put them through tough practices because we want them to be able to try to simulate the environment.
Bump foul down low.
There's my guy looking sharp today. Jeff Capel, maybe next in line at Duke. Who knows? Tree now, the question becomes who will be next. And you've got Johnny Dawkins, you've got Tommy Amaker, so many great coaches that have come through the program and been Duke players. And of course, when you're Coach K, I think you earn the right to name your successor. But of course, my vote would be the guy we just saw, Jeff Capel. I think with what he's done here, when his return back to Duke, now the associate head coach. If you look at the recruiting, he has a large part to do with them getting guys like Jaleel Okafor and Jabari Parker, etc.
Numbers for the Phoenix, and a good finish by Kevin Blake. I guess you're wondering the last time Elon defeated an ACC school, you got to go back to 2005. They defeated Clemson. Tigers at that time led by Oliver Purnell. Now up to Paul.
Well, when you look at the overall series record between Elon and Duke, you would be surprised to see it. The overall series, Duke leads 19-7. But then you sit back and you say, wait a minute, Elon's got 7 wins against Duke. But they took a 74-year break.
Right. One little caveat to that stat.
They started the series back up 4 years ago, but up until that point, they took a 74-year break. So basketball was a little different, I believe, back at the time when they were splitting the meetings.
One for 2 for Okafor. He's got 20 points now. 18 rebounds. Only other player to go 20 and 10 in the ACC this year, Montrezl Harrell of Louisville. Out of bounds to Duke. I'll give you another number that Okafor is flirting with here in the final 6:58. If he can collect 2 more rebounds, he'd be the first Duke player to go 20-20 since Elton Brand in 1999.
I would have won that trivia question.
Yeah?
Yeah. Elton Brand was an unreal rebounder.
Nice pass. And there's 22 for Okafor.
And the thing you love most about that play is the unselfishness of this Duke team. Quinn Cook with the drive. He doesn't care about getting the bucket. He's more concerned about getting the assist. That's his 4th one on the game. But he's been the guy that this coaching staff has really credited for helping these young players come along, because as a senior, he didn't, come in and say, hey, this is my team, you guys take a back seat. He's sacrificed and given up a lot of his role to help these guys out.
Okafor getting fouled again.
Quinn Cook the entire time knows that this is going to be a pass. Great point guard play, rewarding the big fella. And when you've got a big like this, you want to make sure you keep him happy. Unfortunately for Duke, they will only have him for about the next 6 months.
Yeah, I think a lot of NBA teams would be hard-pressed to pass on Jahlil Okafor.
Realistically speaking, talking to a lot of NBA scouts and teams, as loaded as the draft was a year ago, with Andrew Wiggins, Jabari Parker, Aaron Gordon, Jahlil Okafor would have been the #1 pick last year had he come out. You go back to the team with Montrezl Harrell, Aaron Gordon, Marcus Smart, was a U19 team that played 2 summers ago, coached by Billy Donovan, Shaka Smart, and Tony Bennett. Jahlil Okafor, as a 17-year-old, was a star on that team.
You just don't see many guys his size with that youth that move as well as he does.
And that want to play with their back to the basket.
Right. Stepped out of bounds, no basket. In a lot of ways, Okafor is a bit of a throwback, and he'll hear it from the crowd here. 23 points, 19 rebounds.
19 is a good number for him today.
Yes, it is.
It's not a 20-20, but, 19 on his 19th birthday, I'll take it.
Absolutely. Take the 23 to go with it in the scoring column. Don't know if we're going to see Okafor again. Duke starting to pull away up 20. Nice move. Everything but the bucket for Suleiman. .23 points, the 19 rebounds, a Duke freshman record, and flirting with the first 2020 performance since Elton Brand about 15 years ago.
No disrespect to Elon, but those are Whitney Young numbers. Those are numbers he was putting up last year in high school.
Now here's my question on Okafor, and obviously, they've already played Michigan State. They've already played Wisconsin.
Yeah, he's played against the other best big man in the country already and won that battle, by the way.
Both times, right. But do you wonder, as a true freshman, as you start getting into games 25, 26, 27, does the big man wear down at all?
Well, he's going to have his freshman struggles, but his freshman struggles will be different because he's not the average freshman. And more importantly, he's a guy that makes his money in the paint. He's not the guy that's got to rely on shooting jump shots, etc. He needs to make more free throws, but he's going to have an advantage against anyone he plays every night out in college basketball. Realistically speaking, Jahlil Okafor, Stanley Johnson, Cliff Alexander do not belong in college basketball. Those guys should be going directly to the NBA. It's really wasting a year for them to come here. It's great for Coach K and everyone to be able to see him in college, but he doesn't belong in college.
Nice floater by Luke Eddy. He's got 8. Elon keeping it within 15 now.
And when I say he doesn't belong in college, it has nothing to do with academics. It's solely about the fact that he's that good to where he could have gone directly out of high school to the NBA, where, let's face it, our best players in the last 15 years have none. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Tracy McGrady, etc. These guys went from high school to college. It's not a college basketball rule. That's the NBA that doesn't allow them to come out right now.
Big night for that big man. Jahlil Okafor leading his Duke Blue Devils tonight. They'll lead it by 50. Up by 15 over the Phoenix of Elon. Jahlil Okafor, 23 points, 19 rebounds, a Duke freshman record. He has dominated from start to finish. Speaking of domination, freshman on the AP All-American team, Harrison Barnes, Andrew Wiggins, Jahlil Okafor, pretty good company right there.
Right, but those guys, Harrison Barnes and Andrew Wiggins, were preseason All-Americans. Neither of them made it in the postseason. I think this guy has a great chance to do it. Now, Jabari Parker was a postseason All-American last year, but he wasn't on the preseason team. Jahlil Okafor will probably be the first one that's on the preseason team that will actually make it by the end of the year.
Suleiman connects on the first free throw. Points for the junior.
Yeah, one thing about Duke, they haven't been able to bury Elon. I mean, down 17, and that looked like a foul. They got away with it, but that was the 20th rebound right there for Jahlil Okafor. As he plays point guard and turns it over. Give it to the guard, big fella. But he's got that 20th rebound, so now it is a 20-20 game for Jahlil Okafor.
First one for a Duke player since Elton Brand in 1999.
And I believe that's the only reason he was back in the game. Most likely we will see him exit very shortly.
Jones hacked and fouled. He'll go to the line for a pair. See first 2020 game by a freshman in Duke history, the first one overall in 15 years. I have a feeling that young man might be primed for another 2020 game before this season's over.
Well, there's a possibility. I mean, he chases the basketball. He doesn't just wait for it to come to him. If he doesn't get the ball, he'll go get it off the glass. And offensive rebounding is why he got the 20 tonight. He's been all over the offensive board. He's been a guy that's continued to do the job defensively. But the offensive glass is really where he's padded those numbers tonight.
I like your Tim Duncan analogy. I've heard some people try to compare him to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was a quick twitch shot blocking machine. That's not Okafor's game.
Anthony Davis was a 6'1" point guard that grew,
right,
9-10 inches. He's been a big his entire life.
Right. And Davis did not have the offensive repertoire his 1 year at Kentucky that Okafor already has at Duke.
No. But they're both from Chicago. Maybe that's
there you go. They are both from the Windy City.
But hey, but one is from Mean Streets. Now there's a difference. Anthony Davis is Mean Streets AAU program. Jahlil Okafor is Mac Urban Fire. There's a big difference. There's a big rivalry between the two of those teams now.
Corey Alexander breaking down geography here tonight. Okafor, look at that move. 25 for the freshman. Nice shot by Luke Eddy.
I really like Luke Eddy. He's going to be a problem for the CAA. He's a guy that knows how to score, and he doesn't have to sit behind the three-point line to do it.
He had 27 off the bench. They nearly defeated Missouri. They lost to Northwestern in overtime, and they beat Miami of Ohio. So in terms of an out-of-conference schedule, Elon has definitely bulked it up. They're ready to go in the Colonial.
Well, in a game like this, you come in, and I mean, if you look at it, Duke was 72 points. 15, 16 points below their season average right now. So if you're Coach Matheny, you're not happy about the fact that you only scored 54, but they've done the job for the most part defensively. Just the offensive board has really hurt them.
Well, keep in mind, coming into this game, Duke was averaging 100 points at home. That's going to be a flagrant foul on Suleiman. Just not needed.
Now, you don't want to see the game get ugly at this point, but the call is definitely going to go against Suleiman. There was way too much extracurricular activity, and Luke Eddy taking exception to it. There's already the foul as they caught it. Well, now you see it. Then again, it's always the guy retaliating, getting caught. But it was Eddy who actually grabbed Suleiman's arm. Not to say that Suleiman should have tossed him off, but Suleiman really was trying to get his arm loose at that point. You always see the reaction, but with very few people are able to see it. But you saw in that first replay, Eddy, as he's
All right, so we have a personal foul, 2 fouls on a play, personal foul and a contact technical on Suleiman,
which I think is fair.
And Duke has just called a timeout while Elon gets ready to go to the free throw line as we take another look.
As you see it, it's a reaction by Rasheed Suleiman as he's already committed the foul, but Luke Eddy grabs his arm and hand. Now the push to his head to get him off of him is why there was the technical foul. But Suleiman walks away, does not escalate the situation. The officials get in, doing a great job, stop everything, and that's why Suleiman was. Eddie walks on the back of Suleiman at that point, but Rasheed Suleiman at that point really does a great job showing restraint because he doesn't allow for anything to escalate. And again, he was retaliating, he was caught retaliating, but Eddie did initiate that little skirmish.
And so just to clean it up, Elon in the bonus, so Eddie's at the line for a 1-and-1, then and after the 1-on-1, they'll clean things up with a contact technical on Suleiman.
Hats off to the officials. I think they did a great job calling that one once they saw that it was Eddie really initiating that contact. And again, you know, just like being in school, he hit me first, yeah, but I saw you hit him, so therefore you're getting in trouble. But they didn't punish Extreme Suleiman severely because of it.
They send Sampson to the line for the technical free throws. He's their best free throw shooter. This game was about to be put on ice. Now if you're Elon, you still have a fighting chance with 95 seconds left to play.
Well, this could be a 6 or 7 point possession for Elon, and which could get them really back into striking distance by the end of this game.
Great hands and a steal by Grayson Allen. One of those McDonald's All-American freshmen out of Jacksonville, Florida. And a foul on Elon with 1 minute and 1 second remaining. Now Duke, the consensus #2, Kentucky, the consensus #1. Let's play a little matchup, shall we, Corey Alexander? If you take a look at the starting fives. Now, we all know Kentucky's the deepest team in the country, but as you look at that 5 against Duke's 5, what do you take away?
Well, my takeaway from this is very simple. The best defensive team in the country versus the best offensive team in the country. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. Because Kentucky defensively is suffocating. You watch them this weekend against North Carolina. They are suffocating defensively. They have so much size, etc. But the guard play of Kentucky, even though good, not as good as the guard play from Duke. And Coach K not happy about this as Tyus Jones takes one to the face by Sampson.
Under a minute left. Duke up 15 with the basketball. And it'll be another trip to the free throw line for Tyus Jones. Jones and Winslow have been good tonight, but the other freshman, Jahlil Okafor, has been sensational. A 20-20 night on his 19th birthday.
Yeah, at this point, you can't even call it. It's 25-20 now. You can't even say 20-20 anymore. Once you put that other 5 points in, it's got to be 25-20 now.
Okafor gets a final ovation from the crowd here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Eddy. Wow. I'll tell you what, Luke Eddy, what do you got to do to get in the starting lineup? He had 27 off the bench in the last game.
Well, you know, for him, I think it's not a scenario where it's about he's being better as a starter. I think not bad going. They've done a great job tonight as well, and they got the enthusiasm. I like this guy on the front. You know what YOLO means on his hat?
I'm going to need help on that one.
You only live once.
Oh, I like that.
Yep. I just hit you with a little bit of hip-hop culture.
Corey, I like it.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I just did right there.
I
just
saw
happened.
that. I saw that. You're taking it next level. Duke will bleed the clock here. Got to take one more shot. The Duke Blue Devils are going to extend their home winning streak to a nation's best 38 in a row. 9-0 on the season. Your final score, Duke 75 and Elon 62. That man, Jahlil Okafor, with a career night. Might be the first of several. 25 points and 20 rebounds. Coming up at 9 on the ESPNU, it's the road to college football playoff. We'll be back in a moment for postgame.